Hey everybody, welcome to my channel, Be Free Now with Maria. Wow, it's been a while since I've recorded, and I'm so glad to be recording today. I think the last time I recorded was sometime in June. Made a couple of posts over the summer, but no videos. And so today I wanted to make a video, but before I did, I wanted to meditate and I wanted to ask myself, right? What do I want to share? What do I want to share with people? And what came to me was force versus allowing. And I guess this came to me because it is with the state that I've been in. So over the summer, right, end of June came and my kids were off from school and I just pretty much hung out with them for the summer. We had some getaway plans, some family over, and it was great. However, I was feeling a little sense of guilt about not recording, and I was trying to force myself to do it and felt like, yeah, this isn't really feeling like a good time. Let me not. So I had to allow myself, right, that space to not record. But then came September, and now my kids are in school, and now I'm really feeling the pressure, right? And it's like, well, they're in school. What's your excuse now? It's time to record. And here I am getting ready to start forcing myself to do something that I really didn't feel like I really wanted to do at that particular time. And not because I don't like making videos, but because I needed time for myself. It was like a lot had happened over the summer, all good things, but I needed some time now to just be. I needed some time to be with myself and to spend more time with my psyche and my soul. And what that means for me is that I spend more time meditating, I spend more time journaling, and that time gives me the opportunity to really take even a deeper and closer look at my thoughts, my actions, and so forth. And I usually start from where I'm feeling, right? And so if I'm feeling yucky, heavy, and uncomfortable, I start to explore why. Because I don't really like to just leave something hanging around emotionally within me and to keep on moving forward because it doesn't feel good. So even though an old habit of mine is to force myself to keep on moving forward, or yes, go ahead and make that video, I don't I don't feel good when I do that. So I've learned that allowing myself the time is how I feel best. And it's when I'm able to also give my best because I have been allowing myself that time that I've needed. And it's been an interesting couple of months because wow, it's like, it's um over the years, I've worked on myself for many years now, and meaning increasing my self awareness and healing old wounds and all of that stuff. And it's interesting to think, like, oh, yeah, this has been resolved or this has been taken care of, and it's not really an issue anymore. But when you see that it still is, it's quite interesting. So that's been intriguing and interesting for me because, like I said, I don't like to leave things feeling uncomfortable. It's not a space that I feel comfortable in anymore. And whenever I'm there, yeah, something needs to happen. I no longer want to continue forcing myself through life because it does not feel good. I rather allow, right? Allow myself to have needs, allow myself to want to explore, allow myself to learn more about myself, and allow myself to feel better and to feel lighter when I say better. Because when I feel lighter, yes, I give a better version of me and more good comes from me. And so that's ultimately where I want to be, as opposed to forcing myself and doing things because, well, I have to, it's the right thing, and what are people going to think, and all of that. Yeah, nope, that doesn't really work for me. It's just really not an option anymore. And that is the gift from doing the work. Where at one time I could force myself based on those thoughts. Now it's like, yeah, that's not an option. I'm okay with whatever anybody's going to think if it means that I have to force myself or sacrifice something that I don't feel comfortable with so that other people feel good. Yeah, not anymore. The old Maria, yes. The new Maria, no. So that's the gift that comes from when we are working on ourselves. So working on myself for years has really paid off. And I've seen the work, pay off in many different ways through many different stages of my life. But now I just continue to see it more and more. And the gift of allowing myself to just be has been good for me. And I share this with you today with the hopes that you can reflect on how you're forcing yourself or allowing yourself to feel good, or to live the life that you want to live. And not everything, is always going to be peaches and cream, meaning that, when I say live the life that we want to live, it doesn't mean that we're not going to have any responsibilities. But having responsibilities is one thing, and forcing ourselves, to keep on moving when our soul is saying, slow down, take some time for yourself. There's more I want to show you. That's the difference, right? That's when we want to say, yes, okay, I will handle my responsibilities, and I'm also gonna honor, and I'm gonna honor my soul, and I'm gonna allow myself to meet my needs. Because if I don't, then no one else can do that for me, and then I'm gonna leave myself in a yucky feeling space, and I don't want to do that. I don't have to do that. I've learned that, no, I have a choice. Matter of fact, we all have choices. We all have free will, right? So we can make that choice for ourselves and say, no more. Like, I'll handle my responsibilities. But when I feel the need to just be, I'm gonna just be. When I feel the need to take care of my psyche, I'm gonna take care of my psyche. I'm not gonna ignore my psyche, because when I do, I leave myself feeling yucky. I'm not gonna ignore my soul, because when I do, I leave myself feeling alone. And that's not a good space to be in. So in order for me not to feel alone, I have to give attention to my soul's needs, to my psyche, and go from there. And what I mean feeling alone is that we start to feel like we got the weight of the world on our it's on our shoulders. And like sometimes it even feels like we're doing it all on our own when we're really not. But we can't see clearly when we're feeling heavy, when we are feeling overburdened, overworked, and so forth. So I hope that helps in some way. But before I end, of course, I want to go to my bag of words and see what else I'm inspired to share. And let's see. Oh, I got 2 words. Disgust and control. That's funny. So disgust. All right, I didn't expect to see that word. That's why I'm like, so disgust is interesting. Okay, so I didn't expect to see disgust, but it's interesting that it would come up, because disgust is something. It's funny. I just used this word this morning with one of my daughters, and it was about when we're entertaining the shadow, right? That we're going to feel disgust. So anyway, that was another topic, but disgust is something that we're going to feel when we don't honor ourselves. And when we keep on forcing ourselves and don't allow ourselves to have feelings, to have needs, to have wants, to spend time with ourselves, whatever it is, when we don't allow ourselves to have what is that we feel we need inside, we are going to feel disgust. We're going to feel frustration too. And it's interesting that the other word I get is control, because control is something that we're going to want to do when we feel nervous with something. So for example, whenever we are allowing ourselves to do something and we're not used to allowing ourselves, in other words, we're not used to giving ourselves permission to do whatever it is that we want to do, then we're going to feel anxious inside and we're going to want to control. So that's like the default, it's like we're going to want to control, because we have learned that if we control things, that somehow things will be better. We're going to feel a sense of safety through this control. So control is like the default that's going to come whenever we step out of our comfort zone. And sometimes allowing ourselves to do something will be out of our comfort zone if we're not used to allowing ourselves, giving ourselves permission to do what it is that we want to do. So we're going to try and do control. But if we control too much and we force ourselves to do things, then we're also going to find ourselves feeling that disgust with our choices. It's really what it's coming from. But we may think that it's because of this situation or that person and so forth, because this happened or we didn't have enough of this or that. But the reality is that the disgust is coming from what we're not allowing ourselves to do. The fact that we're not giving ourselves permission to have needs, to have wants, and to go for what is it that we need at that moment in time, and to listen to our soul's needs. That's where that disgust comes from. So it's interesting that these 2 words should come up. Glad that they did, because they helped me add a little bit more to what I wanted to share today. And yeah, and you know what I just thought about? I said when I wanted to share, but it's not really me. It's really spirit, because ultimately, when I do these videos, or any video, I always meditate. And what am I connecting with? Spirit. I'm connecting with my soul. And when I do that, I'm flowing. In other words, I don't really like, I set something up like a topic, but I don't really set it up with like, certain bullet points, because I don't want to be that regimented with this. This is not a course. This is a conversation, right? I'm sharing something. Well, conversation I'm having with myself. I'm with you, but even though you're not able to talk back at this particular moment, but you can leave a comment and talk back in that moment, and I will definitely read it and do the best that I can to answer all the comments. But yeah,